Hey guys, this is Tom from Skolton's Equipment out here in Linden, Washington. Just wanted to go over a couple things about a new M7 sale that we have sold to a customer. He's wanted this thing outfitted especially for some forestry work, so instead of our typical agricultural setup, we've got a couple of different things going on, so I wanted to go over a couple of quick features that we've installed on this machine. First off, here is the machine. It's an M7-151 standard power shift. It's got the fixed rear axles, four-wheel drive LM2605 loader. We've outfitted it with a heavy-duty log grapple on the front loader. Luckily, the 2605 comes equipped with a third function kit already, so there was no additional work needed there. But we did have to outfit the SGS 1578 grapple with Euro mounts, which our fab shop did a fantastic job of right off the bat. The other thing, we outfitted with a box blade. Customer asked for top and tilt, which we were able to do. Nobody made a top and tilt kit for this machine, and we were able to fab this up as well. It actually turned out very nice. We're really happy with the performance we got out of it. Did take a little bit of work, but we got it done. So the next thing we're going to take a look at, basic operation in the cab. Another thing to go over, this is our DEF tank. This is our diesel tank. This machine does run both a DPF and diesel exhaust fluid, or an SCR, selective catalytic reducer. Jump up into the cab here. First thing we're gonna notice is the operator's controls. We got a forward reverse on the left hand side of the steering wheel. Works nice for people who are used to a standard forward reverser. On the right hand side, this is kind of new for Kubota. When you're talking about turning on your cab lights, working in the dark, these are all push button controls. You control them all individually. Over here on the right hand side console, you got three blue levers. These are for the three original equipment hydraulic remotes. The yellow handles, as with everything in Kubota land, are talking about your PTO. This machine is equipped with both 540, 540E, 1000 and 1000E PTO from the factory, which is nice. Yellow knob right here is your PTO engage. This round knob down here is your depth control for the 3-point hitch. It will set your bottom limit for the 3-point hitch. You can control your 3-point up and down by push button via these buttons on the hand control here. This is your loader control joystick. This machine is only set up with the third function, so with this white button depressed here, these two buttons right here will control the third function, in this case the grapple tines. You've got a throttle down here, obviously turtle and rabbit. You set your RPM. You also have two RPM ranges, A and B. You can preset those to run either PTO RPM, or if you're running 540 or 1000E, you can preset them to that right there. You also have a quarter inching style. Just add a couple RPM via a button instead of trying to find the right RPM you want with the knob. You've also got your differential lock, auto differential lock, four-wheel drive, automatic four-wheel drive. Defrost button right over here. The rest of your climate controls are over here. Obviously these are equipped with factory heat and air conditioning. Kubota does a good job with AC, and then a Jensen heavy duty stereo kind of rounds out the operator comfort. Down below behind the seat you have some of your industry standard ports. You've got the three-prong, two of the three-prong power outlets. Gives you power, ground, and key switch. Getting back over here to the operator control. So this is a power shift transmission. So basically, in order to, well, I can just show you. We'll start the tractor up. Down underneath the steering wheel column here, you see this button. It's lit red. This is your battery shut off. When you're not using the machine, we recommend you turn the battery shut off, and that will disconnect the battery to prevent any type of drain. So when you want to start the machine up, click that battery button, and then it's just a matter of turning the key. Do not need to push the clutch to start the machine at all. It's pretty nice. We typically see this orange flashing flashing icon. That just means that there's a position error in the 3-point hitch. Usually you can just raise it all the way back up, cycle it once, and it will go away. Parking brake light is lit because I did engage the parking brake when I stopped here. All right, now in order to start the tractor or get it moving in the direction that you want, take a look over here at the control handle. You see this button right here. This is your range selection button. This will allow you to cycle through ranges, so you can follow along on the screen. Basically, you tap this button with your thumb, push forward on the control handle, and it will shift you up from A range to B range to C range to D range, E, F, until you reach F. F is the top range for this machine, usually just for road only. In order to bring yourself down, just push that button, hold back on the stick. For auto transmission mode, or for basically auto road mode, you can click this button here with your thumb. That will change you over into auto range, and that will shift you through A1 all the way to F4. If you're trying to go down the road, starting out in A1 is probably not the best idea. At this point, I would probably shift up to C1, or actually probably D1 if you were going down the road. At this point, you can pretty much just go ahead and push the forward button, click the trigger and hit the forward button, and the tractor will just go into gear on its own in range C1. But in auto mode, it will slow you down if you're not giving any throttle input. So at this point, we just hit the neutral button, and now we're backing up. To go into reverse, it's the same thing. Click the trigger button, hit the reverse, and now all of a sudden we're reversing. The nice thing about this transmission is you do not need the clutch to go from forward to reverse at a low speed. You just simply click the button again, and now you're going forward. To stop, push the clutch in, hit the neutral button, and now you can let the clutch out. You're not engaged. You can also see up here on the dashboard, it'll show you if you're neutral, forward, or reverse, your range, your gear in which range. Auto tells you that you can shift from A1 to F4, how many hours are on the machine, miles per hour, and your percentage for the for your 3-point hitch. You've got a depth gauge here, also your coolant temperature, fuel gauge, RPM, tachometer, etc. Now, since this machine is Tier 4 final and does have both a DPF and SCR, this will go through what you call a regen system. You can see down here, this is your regen cancel button. This is what you'll use if you're in an area you do not feel safe doing a regeneration. This button over here is your parked regeneration button. Parked regenerations are only going to be used when you're in a situation where you've canceled 1 or 2 regens, and then it's forcing you to say, no, you need to stop and do a real burn. In your typical daily operations, if it needs to do a regen, you're going to see this icon here. It'll flash, and it'll ask you to raise the RPMs up until this light goes off. At that point, the computer's automatically doing a regeneration, and we'll just continue to do that and allow you to continue working. Also up here is the range, the speed range of this tractor. It does do about 25 miles per hour. I think it'll actually do a little bit more than that. They just like to push that. I think we got it up to 26 or 27. At this point, this is a pretty good way of how you can just a pretty good explanation of getting into the machine. Over here you've got ashtray, cigarette adapter. There is a little cubby hole in here for your snacks or whatever. Cell phone pocket right there, pretty nice. Buddy seat or instructor seat is what they like to call it. Also standard in these machines, so if you've got somebody in the cab you're trying to teach, they've got a comfortable place to sit. Does have a right hand side door with steps. Not everybody gives you those, which is kind of a nice bonus. What we should do now is I'll just give you a quick drive around the lot here. I will go ahead and put it in C range. So grabbing the range button, shifting up to C, and then putting it in forward, and now we are driving. At this point I can show you the loader capabilities of the third function. The grapple opens up, closes down. Like I said, this gentleman is going to be working in some forestry applications, is going to be removing dead trees, and he really liked this tractor, thought it was going to be perfect for him. He is eventually going to be putting a forestry mulcher on it, so he did need, instead of just a standard loader, he did need a tractor with 3-point and PTO of this horsepower range. He asked that we put this video together for his reference to show him how to operate the machine, as well as just some helpful insights on running it, especially with the emissions, the DPF, the diesel exhaust fluid, etc. One really cool thing I wanted to show everybody too was the capabilities of this top and tilt kit. Put the tractor in neutral here. So this customer is going to be doing quite a bit of grading and everything. He likes the ability to control basically every aspect of the grading situation. So right now this is the hydraulic top link. You can see we've got quite a bit of adjustment on there, and then we've also got hydraulic tilt, also quite a bit of adjustment there. So it does give the customer quite a bit of control over his ability to grade and do all of that. Because we didn't want to go too much wider than the rear tires, you always want to at least cover the rear tires with your rear implement. We went with the standard 7-foot box blade, but this is the heaviest one we can get from Land Pride. It's a great box blade. I think it's going to give them lots of good use and all of that. So just thank you to everybody for checking out this video. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments, and we will try to respond as we can. Thanks.